Welcome. I am excited to present to you the first industry that we are going to examine in detail, and that is banks and NBFCs. The bigger focus is finding that which interests you in the BRSR report of a bank or an NBFC. The first industry is the largest by market capitalization. We have grouped banks together with NBFCs, non-bank financial companies, and I will tell you in a minute why that is the case. This sector has a market capitalization of approximately 20% of the total of the top 1,000 companies. Now, remember, SEBI has required the top 1,000 to file BRSR. When I group the banks and NBFCs, I find that they as a group have 20% of the market capitalization seen in the top 1,000. So why did I group them together? We already looked at why grouping by industry is necessary. You can revisit that in the second of the series. But the crux of the matter is that companies in the same category have reasonably similar issues, even if a company may handle a particular issue differently from a peer. The Nifty weight, on the other hand, if you look at the Nifty 50, banks and NBFCs as a group are approximately 35% of the broad market index. The Nifty 50, for those who are not from the world of finance, is a broad approximation of the Indian economy as seen in listed stocks that are quoted on the stock market. And so 35% of that is banks and NBFCs, by which some would say 1/3 of the Indian economy by extension is banks and NBFCs. We are not going to go into that discussion, but remember that thought. This makes them an important sector of the top 1,000 for sure. When I look at the top line, which is our proxy for economic activity, which is to say that SEBI's listing ranks based on market capitalization. For our analysis, we look at the big guys before we look at the smaller guys amongst these top 1,000. This sector is approximately 10% of the total economic activity of the top 1,000. None of this is investment advice. None of this is meant for you to jump into a stock. Therefore, I'm quite comfortable leaving you with numbers that might be plus or minus 10 or 20% here or there, but that broad number is correct. And there are 105 banks and NBFCs in the top 1,000. So when you look at that, then that's also 10% of the total number of companies that SEBI wants to see reporting BRSR. We now have to consider what is the sector description, because the financial services sector is somewhat larger than just banks and NBFCs. We have carved out banks and NBFCs as a category. These companies are very similar in profile. A bank as well as a non-banking finance company takes deposits and gives loans. Their customers include individuals, small businesses, and extend to very large industries of the scale of Tata Steel or Reliance or ITC and so on and so forth. Now, banks also process payments and they engage in various other agency services which non-banking finance companies do not do. That's the single distinction between a bank and a non-banking finance company, which is payments and transaction related activities. But other than that, these are so similar that they're worth grouping as one set and examining for characteristics.